And you saw Everyone Counts tonight. What is your take on it? Was it good, bad, indifferent? What do you think it did?
I think it was tremendous. I think this is something, after living in the foothills for 40-something years, and you hear about all these little pieces, but you never knew that actually it was so much more into a bigger picture of what was going on in the community. And it was so informative, and I think it was wonderful.
Do you think anything will come from it?
I think it will, but I think it needs to be pushed a little bit, and I think people need to maybe write to the DOJ and push from that angle of it. But
Get a federal investigation or some oversight here.
Right, correct, right. So.
Yeah, I don't like the sliding scale of justice very much. I know I'm not naive. I know that happens, but there should be a basic standard of investigation on a suspicious death, don't you think, regardless?
Should be an investigation in any death. You know, the circumstances and just the way it was handled, the evidence laying there and everything, it was just unforgivable. That
Perfect.
Everyone should count.
What'd you think of it? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it different? What do you think of it?
Oh, I really liked it. I thought it had a poignant theme, and the people involved were fantastic. And I feel sorry that the investigative abilities seem to be taxed with some of our agencies. But, I guess you can only do what you can do.
And that's why we did a documentary, because people don't know about these things.
Oh, I listened to the people around me going, oh, wow, oh, I didn't know that. So, of course you didn't know that. That's why it goes on and goes on and goes on.
And we would hope that something good would come from this in the sense of something happening, like some federal oversight, or somebody maybe calling that phone number with a tip, because I think some of those cases are eminently solvable even at this point.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you.
But you don't do it because you're sure there's going to be some perfect result. You do it because you have to do it, and then it just takes over.
I agree 100%. I'm hoping that someone out there saw something they didn't really realize was important until maybe they saw this. And the pictures of the people involved were a reminder, and the parents. Some of the parents are here, and it's just heart-wrenching to watch. How would you feel if it was your son or daughter?
I met some of the parents tonight that I hadn't met before. One mom in particular, Lowell Grennan's, and it was just so wonderful. I was so concerned, how would she take this? Because she was really reluctant at first to talk to us. And then finally she said, okay, I'm going to give you all the pictures and reports that I have. Wow. And she was so pleased that we put them together the way we did. And he was the young man who was with his dog, and they were both killed on the tracks.
Wow, well, I wasn't quite sure how the reception would be. And I was pleased when everybody was enthralled with it and curious. And I think it was somewhat gratifying to see 200 or 300 people that now might tell 200 or 300 other people who might say, well, I saw this documentary. Well, what's being done?
April, I know your name because you're in the film and you were very close to Calvin Kelly. How do you think it portrayed what happened to him and who he was?
I think it was an excellent vision of what Calvin was and who he was and what he meant to this community. There was a wonderful turnout tonight. It was absolutely excellently executed. The film was informative, truthful, authentic. I hope that this compels this community to do something. And I hope it goes to the Department of Justice or somewhere where these facts can be found out and these families can get some justice.
It's so interesting what the cops said, that they had interviewed several witnesses who were uncooperative, and then they didn't do anything about it. They didn't follow up. What is that?
Well, as well, I had an interaction with that department, and then they didn't want to rely on any of the information that I wanted to give them. They kept on telling me that Calvin, that he wasn't a good person. He had a family. He was just somebody who just committed suicide. That's it.
Not true.
Not true.
Okay, you saw the movie tonight. I know that you practice law in this area, so you've dealt with the agencies involved many times. Do you
yes,
think
I
this
have.
film captured anything that's close to the reality you know?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. Both as it relates to, I think, your particular cases you discussed, as well as ones that I handled as well, yes.
Do you think there should be some sort of federal oversight?
I think so. I think that so many families suffered through the loss of their beloved family members without any looking into what happened. I mean, who knows what happened, but at least it bears investigating, I think. So yes.
At least the State Department of Justice.
We
Certainly.
invited them, but they weren't here tonight. I mean, they might have been. Maybe it was somebody in an Aloha shirt in there. Who knows?
I wish I could say I was surprised. Yeah.
We're going to try to show it a few more places locally in this area, like Nevada City, etc. And we're not entering any film festivals or anything like that, but we're going to try to show it at least locally so as many people as can see it.
I think that's a great idea. I think the more the better. Yeah.
I hope so. I hope more people get a chance to see this. And I'm sure you worked very hard behind the scenes to get this made. And I think
Knowing
for a
you.
good cause. And it bears to be seen, really.
Thank you both very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Christy.
you.
You're in the film. You describe how the police department told you they had the phone of one of the victims, Calvin Kelly.
Yes.
And then the DA later told you, no, they don't have the phone. Then a year later, they suddenly find the phone. It's been hidden in the seat of a police car, supposedly. Do you think this movie is going to make any difference?
God, I hope so. I think with all of the attention, I think it's going to get them hopping. It better.
Maybe some federal oversight to come in, FBI or somebody to sort of take a look at their practices. I mean, we both know, we're realists. We know that not every suspicious death is going to get high-end forensics, etc. But there should be some basic standards. Pick up the evidence that's left
Yeah.
where the person...
Yeah, like I said, we went to the tracks. We found a shoe, blood, all of...
And blood that indicated very clearly that he was already bleeding out
Yes.
before the train hit him.
way before where his body ended up. And if you're hit by a train, the blood's going to splatter, not puddle.
Yeah.
So the puddle means that he was hurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the cops weren't interested in seeing that at all.
Not at all. They never went out there. Well, I don't even know if they ever went out there, but we had to contact them. They never contacted us. And we had good information.
And I know you are a prominent florist here in Auburn, a businesswoman. What's in the window of your shop?
No, a poster, reward, and Calvin, his birth date and his death date. It's very close to my heart.
And you are sponsoring a tip line as well. I hope people noticed it. They're all kind of wandering out at that point. Please look at the tip line.
Yeah, we'll have to do some more new posters because the old ones have the old tip line, so we definitely need to have the new
Yeah.
phone number posted, and we'll get some posters out there and put them around town.
Yeah,
So,
publicize it.
yep.
Now, Alex, you're a young fellow. You're about the age of some of these people who got, that ended up dead. What did you think of the film?
I think it was so surprisingly powerful. I think I came in already kind of connected, but I left with so much more. And I think anyone who showed up here on their own volition, I don't think they're going to look at the police department here in the same way at all. I think this is a good jumping point for all of this.
That doesn't mean we hate cops. We just want them to do basic investigatory work on everybody.
Exactly, and I think that was the best point of this whole film was a lot of the articulate footage really covered that. It wasn't like bashing cops in general at all. It wasn't like police are inherently bad. It was just drawing attention to, I'm sure this problem pervades in a lot of small counties like across America, and here it's really just shining in the worst way.
That's why we had to do it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you did. I think this town needs it, and I think the people here really need their eyes opened, like beyond like, oh, friendly neighborhood cop, like blah blah blah. Like they do have a broader job beyond tickets and stopping kids from skateboarding, like said in the movie. And, yeah.
Thank you.